Let's compare Chaos Marauder Horsemen. Diving straight in, basic Marauder Horsemen for Chaos are 500 gold recruit, 125 upkeep, and no Norscan rage. So in terms of advantages over that unit, it's cheaper. Rage is a huge advantage over the course of a long battle, but that's the problem. It's over a long battle where a skirmisher's real power is supposed to be in the opening stages of a fight. Rather than dwell on this for Chaos, we'll go straight to the Monogod variants. Note that Chaos have Throwing Axes variants and Horse Masters, but again, no rage for them, and incidentally, no human missile infantry in the entire so-called race. Pink Horrors not being human. Khorne's variant is based on the Throwing Axes, 675 recruit and 169 upkeep. Armor of 35 is 20 better, spell resistance 35% is of course Khorne's thing. Leadership remains low, speed remains sky high. Melee attack 22 is the same base, attack interval 4.2 seconds is a substantial amount better. No splash damage. Melee defense of 21 is 1 better than the Javelin's chucking base model. Weapon strength 40 is 16 better, split base 30 and armor piercing 10, pitched melee numbers equal to Knights of the Realm. Though in this case there's a bonus versus infantry of +5 rather than a bonus versus large. Charge bonus of 36 is 12 better than the norm, and mass is 500. The Throwing Axes are 12 volleys of ammo, 70 range, comparison damage 27, and the Thrown Axes are flaming attack where the regular melee strikes were not. More normally, the split is base 6 and armor piercing 21 damage, reload time 10 seconds, total accuracy 20, calibration distance 40 meters, so less accurate past that, calibration area 2.0 meters as tight as the original, still small penetration cap, still max targets 2 penetrated after the first, at best. Thing is, in addition to Vanguard deployment, light and force, and 360-degree firing whilst moving, it has Frenzy, as you might expect. So melee attack +10, weapon strength and charge bonus +10%, and immunity to psychology until damage reduces morale too much. So this is both an axe-chucking unit and a dual-axis horseback unit for slaughtering infantry as a side hustle, which makes it like a toned-down Kurgan horseman with a ranged weapon. Which is nice. The extra armor makes this more viable, so it could actually work. Nurgle variant is 650 gold recruit and 162 upkeep, since Frenzy is valued so highly. Health 5,940 is 480 better, armor is 15, but this version has the OG unit's 30% missile block shields. It's normal until we get to melee attack 17, 5 worse, which looks horrendous here. But each blow that lands carries poison for the entire enemy unit. The usual attack interval 5 seconds, no splash damage. Melee defense of 31 is 11 higher than the normal Javelin unit, 5 higher than the usual Throwing Axes. Weapon strength 24 is less than 40, and that's split base 19 and armor piercing 5 as usual. Charge bonus 24 and mass 500. Let's not dwell. What makes this unit extraordinary, besides the unduly high melee defense for light cavalry and the increased health, is the fact the Throwing Axes have the exact same stats as the last version, except for that they carry poison, including the -15% speed debuff to enemy units, chasing it merrily around the map. So it's a scroll tossing poisoned acorns. This increases the odds you can completely deplete the 12 ammo before they are forced to fight in melee. Keep in mind that unlike Norsca, this isn't a faction that has access to grown-up Chaos Knights. The Slaanesh model is even cheaper at 625 gold, 156 upkeep. This is a Javelin chucking variant. Armor 15, physical resistance 5%, same leadership, speed 95 and charge speed 115 are even better for a skirmisher. The rest of the numerical stats are 100% identical to the regular unit, but, like the Regiment of Renown, which I covered in the Norscan Horsemen video, they're javelins, and ranged only, by the way, are magical attack. And to do that without being a Zinch unit is quite something. So for harassment of demonic forces, this has outsized power for budget cost. Thing is, charge bonus 24 benefits from devastating flanker, on top of Strider, immunity to psychology, and the usual Vanguard deployment and fire whilst moving. The Zinch version isn't complicated, but 700 gold recruit, 175 upkeep means the game values it more. Why is that? That's because partly 800 barrier hit points land differently with a hit-and-run skirmish unit that has the speed to escape and let the barrier recover. That matters. Having said that, not only does melee attack 22 come with magical attack in melee, it also comes with flaming attack, so if they actually hit something, skin wolves would shudder with fear. Now, you probably know the Kindle Flame and Flammable combinations by heart, but bear with me. The javelins are normal in terms of 16 volleys and 15 base, 7 damage per hit, but each javelin carries flaming, magical, and warp flame. This means that for 10 seconds, victim units suffer minus 10 armor and 10% fire weakness, applying to any source of fire damage, such as this unit's ranged and melee attacks, fellow similar units, and anything else with flaming like blue or pink horrors. It also softens targets up for the Kindle Flame fire combos in reverse. Though less valuable against some targets due to fire resistance, Warp Flame is all you need to make this unit's own javelins hurt 10% more before redline skills or other boosting. Speaking of that, you don't see it used much except here, but in the redline skills, Doomfire at 3 pips offers plus 20% ammunition and plus 12% missile strength. Huge boosts to your skirmishing efforts. For rank 7 and above Horsemen, Malevolent Ranger offers armor plus 10, reload time reduction 10%, and missile resistance plus 15%, all of which are enormously valuable. In contrast, all you get from mainline Chaos Tech Tree is Charioteer for plus 25% unit XP, because you are expected to use the Monogod varieties as your upgrades. It's hardly worthless. These are not always high kill units, despite the damage they can pile up, so faster XP helps keep pace. With all this said, how do we use Marauder Horsemen here? The flavor does change, but since there's no rage, which is still a little sad, you don't get stronger by diving into melee, you only get weaker as you take damage. Charging in fresh is obviously best for that, but that's not really their job. That's job number 2, after any value they can get from pure skirmishing is done and over with. Job number 1 is to do that skirmishing job, exploit it to the highest degree, and then get dirty in melee. Even if facing knights with shields, throwing axes should prefer baiting and hitting thornier targets because other units can handle damage against regular foes with less armor. All javelin variants are quietly effective at racking up damage against a broad range of targets, and the safer you can make that damage, the better it is for you. Whether your use case is ideal or not, you're still an armed squirrel trying to lead foes to their deaths. The manner of death may vary, however. Instead of leading stuff into hunter firing lines, because those don't exist here, you may instead be pulling a unit into an exalted hero, or chaos knights with lances, or monsters fast enough to catch them. If that's not quite how it goes, circle around the engaged flanks, even if it's chaos knights doing the engaging, and hit whatever is soft or pointed the other way, like enemy knights or crossbowmen. Horsemen are still jackals, and they must engage in scavenger-like selection of the weak to inflict maximum damage. So basically, you have the mentality of a hobgoblin cutthroat. If you can do that, you can afford to lose a few, and if you can't manage it, you didn't lose anything too crazy. But still, safe damage, bait damage, and rear charge damage are things you want to complement your heavy lines and whatnot. The advanced techniques are all about combos. Can you put Flaming Sword of Ruin on Nurgle Horsemen to hit Ice Trolls? Can you use Warp Flame Javelins to enhance the throwing axes of Khorne Horsemen? Will Plague of Rust help Slaanesh Javelins tear through demons with physical resistance and decent armor all that much faster? It's not that complicated, just look out for the evil possibilities. If in doubt, fall back on the most reliable part of the kit. Speed and 360-degree firing. Run away, then reassess. You can do that. Other parts of the host can't. Act accordingly. Take care, and have fun throwing poison axes and taunting, "You can't catch me!"